Rejection in childhood can leave a deep emotional scar for you as a mom. Do you feel rejected? Or while growing up, do you feel rejected? Did you feel rejected? It can leave an emotional scar. So today we're going to learn how childhood rejection shapes motherhood, how childhood rejection is affecting what you're doing or impacting on what you're doing today as a mother. Now, rejection occurs when someone feels unwanted. So, probably as a child, while you were growing, you felt unwanted or you felt unloved. That is when rejection occurs. You just feel nobody loves me. I'm not wanted in this space. And some of the reasons why rejection could occur is because of maybe parental favoritism. So, while growing up, did you feel, oh, a particular child was favored over the other child? The child that feels less favored will automatically feel unloved. So, as a parent, in what you're doing today, in your parenting journey, your motherhood journey, are you in that space where you're favoring one child over another? When you do, you somehow make the other child that feels less favored rejected or unloved. Yes. Another reason why a good number of people, a good number of moms felt rejected is because of harsh criticism. Probably you grew up in a space where the voices there were just critical voices. Maybe you grew up in a space where everyone criticized you. Nobody applauded you. Nobody told you, oh, you're doing so great, well done. Every voice or all the voices you heard were voices that were critical. It could also make you to feel unloved or rejected as a mom. So as a mom, the question is, are you harsh? Are you critical to your children? With the way you speak to them, are you speaking to them in a way that will make them to feel emotionally loved? Or are you speaking to them in a way that will make them feel emotionally distant or rejected? That is the conversation. Another reason why a good number of us felt rejected growing up is because of emotional abandonment. Most of us were abandoned emotionally. Most moms that are grown up today were abandoned emotionally. Probably nobody knew about your emotions. You just grew up. Nobody taught you how to reflect, how to analyze your emotion, how to feel that emotion, what to do when you feel a particular emotion. When you feel that way or you grew up in that space, in that environment, it's just very easy for you to feel rejected. So as a mom, in your motherhood journey, in your parenting journey, are you in that space where you're distant emotionally from your children? If you are in that space, you're replicating the same thing that probably was done to you. So, what you need to do is to step away from that place, is to be emotionally present. So, 7 ways childhood rejection shows up in our motherhood. Number one, when you're scared of not being a good mom, it's a way of your childhood rejection showing up. Yes, because probably while you're growing, you felt unloved, you felt, oh, I was not welcomed in this space. And now you're a mother, you are now constantly scared. Oh, asking yourself, am I a good mother? Am I enough? Am I providing the right emotional space for my children? So when you constantly feel that way, when you constantly fear or you're scared of you being a good mom, it's a sign. What you need to do is to practice self-compassion. Extend some grace to yourself. Extend compassion to yourself as a mother. Now, another way is childhood rejection shows up in motherhood is when you constantly seek approval. Most of us are in that space. We're constantly seeking approval. You want the approval of everyone. If no one approves you, you just feel you're not doing enough. If no one approves you, you just feel your work is trash. If no one approves you, you just feel, oh, I don't think I'm getting this. When you're constantly seeking approval, it's a sign from somewhere. Maybe your childhood, maybe you were rejected. What you need to do is to build your self-worth, is to build your confidence and your identity in God. Another way childhood rejection shows up in motherhood when you constantly compare yourself to other moms. When you constantly compare everything, you compare your children with your neighbor, you compare your possession, you even compare your achievements, you compare what you're doing. When you're constantly comparing, it's a sign of probably emotional neglect while you're growing up, or a sign of you feeling unloved while you're growing up. What you need to do is to focus on your journey. We all need to learn how to focus on our journey, focus on our lane, and leave the other person alone. Another way childhood rejection shows up in motherhood is when you find it difficult to trust. You find it difficult to trust people, your children. Yeah, some level of trust. It's a sign of childhood trauma. What you need to do is to first of all trust yourself. Most of us do not even trust ourselves. So we have to be in that space where we trust ourselves, we understand ourselves, we are aware of ourselves. Because the truth is that you cannot give what you don't have. When you trust yourself, when you love yourself unconditionally, it will be very easy for you to give or pass it on to your children. Another way childhood rejection shows up in motherhood is when you constantly overprotect your children. You don't want them to feel. Because of that, you don't want them to do anything. Even age appropriate tasks, you prevent them from doing it. You don't want them to just feel. You don't want them to try. Or they tell you, oh, mom, I want to try this, but you just tell them no. When you constantly overprotect your child, it's a sign of probably emotional neglect or a sign that of you of feeling unloved while you're growing up. So, what you need to do is to allow healthy independence, age appropriate independence for your child. Another sign of childhood rejection affecting motherhood is when you constantly struggle with confidence as a mother. When you're struggling, you're not confident in the things you say to yourself, the words you say to yourself, it's a sign. It's coming from somewhere. It's coming from probably childhood, how you grew up, what you heard, programming, your space, your environment, and people around you. What you need to do if you're struggling with confidence is to practice speaking to yourself, practice affirming yourself, practice, see yourself the way God sees you. Remind yourself constantly that your identity, your self worth, and everything about you is in God. Then finally, one of the ways childhood rejection shows up in motherhood when you find it difficult, when you're constantly scared of relationship. You're scared, even the relationship between you and your children, you're scared that something will happen. But you're constantly in that space where you're speaking to yourself in a negative way. Speaking to yourself, telling yourself different reasons why something will not happen. When you constantly entertain fear, it's coming from somewhere. What you need to do is to build emotional security for yourself first as a mom. Build your emotional security, and it's going to change a whole lot for you. Now, we must remember the story of Leah in the Bible. If you can remember Leah in the book of Genesis. Now, Leah was rejected. Initially, her husband did not love her, but Leah, after some time, Leah started to see herself the way God sees her. After a while, Leah came to understand, Leah came to appreciate and value herself. So, as a mom, if you feel neglected, it's high time for you to tell yourself, yes, it ends with me. I'm not going to pass this emotional neglect or feeling of unloved to my children. That is why we have to go on a journey of healing. Now, rejection may wound the heart, but it cannot cancel your purpose. Yeah, you might be rejected. Probably you felt unloved growing up, but it cannot cancel your purpose. It cannot cancel the fact that you can work on your journey. You can grow. You can heal yourself. You can become. So tell yourself as a mom, you are worthy. You are loved. You are exceptional. Tell yourself you're valued. Your identity is determined by God, not determined by the next person around you. Yes, you are worthy. You are enough. You are beautiful. You are valuable. You are a God. And you have all it takes to replicate the right emotional environment for your child. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Choma Odikolo. Remember to like this video, share this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Confident Mom Academy. We're also on Facebook and Instagram at the Confident Mom Academy. Yes, come join us. I'm going to walk you through a journey of building your confidence. My name is Choma Odikolo. Do have a great day and bye.